Welcome to Basildon's Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Simon Rogers, and Simon is the president of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, how are you today?
Yeah, great, Cynthia. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, same here.
I know you've been so incredibly busy. Let's talk about that right out of the gate, because obviously the shows have been airing and you've been really busy in the office. So what types of questions are people coming in with as far as retiring with a plan in place?
Yeah. Most people don't have a plan, and so they are very intrigued. We've talked about our plan on the show where, after doing this for a number of years and using software that's used to spit out like, 30, 40 page and a bunch of graphs and charts, and we've whittled it down to just one page. Now, obviously, there's a ridiculous amount of work underneath that one page, but the viewers have been calling up and saying, I want that one-page financial plan, the one that I can understand. Like, I was a fifth grade art teacher, and I just don't, numbers don't work in my brain, So, like, I've seen written financial plans from other advisors, and I get lost in them.
Yeah.
And you said yours is one page, and you can explain it to me in 5 minutes. I want that. At least I want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm not committing to go work with your firm yet, but I'm really intrigued about that, and I want to see what that looks like. So that's probably the number one that we've seen from the show. When we've talked about that plan on the show, we've talked about a lot of subject matter, but when that one comes up and that's the offer of the day, that people have called in and saying, I've never seen a one-page plan, and so we try to, over the years, what we've realized is, we all do it. We were guilty of it too. We've gotten lost in the weeds. We're so entrenched in what we do for a living that we don't realize, because we breathe this day in and day out, and sometimes on the weekends, and so we're, for us to digest a plan is a lot easier than somebody who is a fifth grade art teacher that is like, that's I'm the first time I've ever seen one of these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've realized over the years that, the simpler we can make it, and so they can digest it right away and comprehend it and get it, then they can start asking questions off that, and it's so much easier to digest that way. And in our heart, and what pushes us and motivates us, is that I'm somebody that I have to feel right and feel good about what I'm doing. Is I have to feel like the client wants to do it.
Sure.
I'm not the kind of person that is going to push somebody into something. I don't like it being done to me. I don't want to do it to somebody else. So I'm always driven to make sure that somebody coming into our office for the first time and considering working with us is somebody's going to make a decision based because they understand what they're deciding, and they understand our recommendations, and they understand the plan, not because they're just taking my word for it because they saw me on TV, or they, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I don't want that. I want them to comprehend it, so we make it as simple as possible. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think people, they totally appreciate that so much, Simon, because like you mentioned earlier, if something is too complicated, you get lost. And you're listening to what someone's saying, but you're not really absorbing it because so many times it can be over someone's head. So I love the fact that you streamline it and you make it so very easy for people to understand. I have to ask you a question. How do people know that they're ready to retire? How does someone know that?
Wow. Well, it depends on what criteria.
Okay.
I assume the question, based on, well, do I have enough money? Is my nest egg big? Yeah. Okay. That's one answer. But if you hate your job and you hate your boss, then you're ready to retire today, whether you got enough money or not.
Right.
So in terms of having enough money, really, there's a couple big things that people need to be aware of that they're not. And one is inflation. And if we say that's 2% or 3%, and Another thing is longevity, and most people, the average age expectancy is 85 to 90. So you're retiring at 65. In our area, there's a lot of people who have pensions, work for the state, and they're getting out at late 50s, early 60s. So you could have a 25, 30-year retirement. And so that's the longevity part,
Sure.
realizing how long. You work for 40 years, and now your nest egg needs to last 30? Just a lot of people are kind of probably hearing that and going,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, my gosh, did I save enough? And it all gets down to math. So the other part of it, so that's longevity. The other part is inflation. So even with a 3% inflation, let's say you need 60,000 to live on, or 50,000. Let's pick 50,000. And about 20 years later, you're going to need 100,000 just for the same buying power.
Wow.
So people don't realize that, and they think, I'm set for 50. I know I've got enough, and it'll carry me through what they think maybe 20 years of retirement at 50 grand. And what they don't realize, it's like maybe 25, 30 years, and it's creeping up from 50 up to 100. And so those are the two big things. So can you look at your portfolio and go, no? And go, can I retire? No, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to do a number of calculations. I generally, even me, after doing this for a couple decades, I can get a sense in probably half the people, like, yeah, okay, those numbers I can see are going to be good enough, and I'm going to put the plan together. Other people, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure. After doing this for a couple decades, writing these plans for a long time, I get the numbers and I'm like, okay, I've got to figure this out. I'm like, I don't know if they're ready yet financially.
Sure, that makes sense. That's one component. And also emotionally, that's a whole different topic, because it's a lifestyle change for someone. So often we've talked in the past that that's like your second family, and then all of a sudden those people aren't there anymore. So it's a total picture that you're painting for someone. So that was a heavy question that I asked you. I apologize for that.
Oh, no, that's great. That's great. Hit me with any questions. Yeah.
Well, Simon, I know you have a special offer to the viewing audience at home today. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're offering and why?
Yeah. So our offer is that one-page financial plan. It's a written financial plan. If you do not have one with either your current advisor or you're self-managing, I can't urge you enough to get this. We're not gonna. It's going to be a complimentary plan, no obligation. And the reason we do that, there's 4 things that can happen. You can come into our office and we're not a fit for you and you're not a fit for us. Let's say you're moving to Florida and what your services you need aren't in our wheelhouse. So the other option is that we're both a fit for each other and become client advisor. The other option is you're a fit for our office, but you're not a fit. Like our office is good for you, but you're moving to Florida and it's not going to work for you. The other last option, this is why it's complimentary, is that you come in and you're like, yeah, I want to become a client, and it's not right for us. And it's not the sense that you don't have enough money. That's a lot of people think that. The reason we wouldn't take on a client is because we do X, Y, and Z. And then you may come in and need A, B, and C. And we can do it, but we're not going to be, it's not our wheelhouse. It's not what we do, what we focus on mainly. So yeah, could we do it? Yeah. Could we do the best job we feel we can do? No. And so we don't want to take on somebody like that we would be doing you a disservice. So there's another firm out there that does A, B, and C. That's what they focus on, and that's where your home is, not with us. But we won't know that until you come in. So that's why it's complimentary. If I charge for it, and then it comes out that way, and you want to become a client, and you're not in our wheelhouse, and I have to say, no, now I've taken your money, and I feel bad, and I'm not doing that. So I don't feel bad. I bring you on as a client. Now I feel bad, because now I know you're needing ABC services. We do it, but that's not our main focus. And I'm sitting here not sleeping well at night because I'm like, I know we're not the firm for them. We're not doing the best we could possibly be. So, come in, leave your checkbook at home. It's not a guarantee we're going to take you on. We may not be right for you, but don't set that aside. Come in, get the plan done, because I've yet to see a client walk into my office that has one of these plans. And maybe the reason being is because if they have a plan that I'm describing, they know they're good. So, but I would put it to you, if you're watching this show, at somewhere, either up in your head or down in your gut, you're like, something's missing. I'm not totally confident in my plan. So come in, kick the tires, get to know us, get this complimentary plan, and then you can sleep better at night.
Simon, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, the phone lines are now open. That number to call is 877-441-4901. What Simon is offering you is the complimentary consultation. Let him get to know you and vice versa, and see if it's the right fit for you. Again, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call 877-441-4901. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
Both my parents started off as university professors in England, so I think teaching's in my blood. What we do is very complicated, but we lay it out in a way that is very easy to understand.
It's just a matter of being able to convey the information that they need most to make the best decision for them.
Don't have to do what we do for a living to take a look at our plan and within a couple minutes totally grasp it. When you're teaching, you're really helping somebody learn. So I have a genuine love and desire and kind of a need, really, to help people. I think that comes from my heart. In England, you name your house like we name our dog. Every house has a name. And the house that my father was born at is my grandmother's house, and the name of her house was Basildon. Whenever I was over there, I felt safe, and I felt loved, and I felt taken care of, and I felt everything was okay. I strive to have our clients feel that same way.
Should something devastating happen, the last thing that they need to think about is, am I covered? Am I secure? How is this going to affect me financially? I think they need to focus on being well and spending time with the ones that they love.
They feel secure in that they can depend on us to do what we say we're going to do, to help them make the decisions that they need to make.
And welcome back to Basildon's Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers. He's the president of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, I'm so intrigued by what it feels like when someone comes into your office for the very first time. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I know we're offering the complimentary consultation. If someone was fortunate enough to gain one of those today, what can they expect to feel when they come in?
Yeah, I think people are a little bit apprehensive, because I think, this firm or this guy's going to try and sell me something. I don't do that. I hate it being done to me. So, that's why in the last section I said, leave your checkbook at home. It's not a guarantee this will work for both of us. So take that off the table. Just relax. Come in, you bring your statements that you need. We'll give you a list of those. But it's not just your investment statements. We're looking for your Social Security statements, your pension statements, and tax return. Bring those in. We'll go over this, and we'll sit down and look. We do all the heavy lifting. You just come in, relax. You're welcome. You're going to feel at home. You're going to feel loved. We'll ask you a whole bunch of questions. Some of them are probably questions you've never thought about before. And back in the first segment, we were talking about can somebody retire. And that separation from work, and then this big void. What do I do for 40 hours a week?
Exactly.
Well, we're going to ask those questions, and sometimes people haven't even thought about that.
Sure.
And maybe it's like, hey, I know I'm going to play a little more golf, but do you have a bucket list? And those are fun questions for us to ask, and I think fun for people to answer, because now every day you wake up, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
So what do you want to
Yeah.
do
That's
the
true.
rest of the Saturdays in your life? And you may have kids, grandkids. You probably have places you want to visit. And so we talk about all that. And those are the questions. They're not just financial questions when you talk to us, because the money is there. We have to be good stewards of the money, and we have to be responsible with it, and it has to take care of us. But really, it's what money buys for us, and it buys us life. It buys us experience in life, trips that, you look back, you don't remember a year of, oh, well, I made extra 10 grand on the market that year. No, you're like, that's the year we took this trip. That's the year we did X, Y, and Z. This is when we went there. This is when I did that. It's what the money allows you to do, and it's that's living life, and that is wonderful part of retirement, and that's what we explore with our clients. Because if you're retiring, okay, for me to do a good job and put a good plan together, I need to know what you want to do, and then we kind of need to talk about the rough cost in that, so that I can figure out the plan for you. Because what's worse, like retire, okay, you retire, put a plan together, and it's got this kind of income, and then you come to me a year later and say, well, I want to take this trip to Europe and that cruise and this and that, and I want to learn how to fly a plane. And it's like, well, you retired too soon. We don't want to get, because those are big budget items, and I didn't know that, So that never happens with our clients, because we ask all those questions, but they're fun questions. And so coming in the office is it's a fun experience. We feel we have good coffee. We're nice people. We don't lock the door behind you. If in a world today where you can't really trust most of what's being said out there, if we ever fall short, if I say I'm not going to pressure you and I pressure you, get up and walk out. Yeah. The door's not locked behind you. We're adults. If I don't stick to my word, go. Yeah. Leave. I know we're not going to do that. Yeah. Or I wouldn't be saying this.
Exactly.
We're not going to do that. But just have a peace of mind. Just relax. It is fun. This is you're planning your retirement. This is awesome. Yeah. This is exciting. And we do all the heavy lifting of putting the plans together and calculating all the stuff, and the tax planning, Social Security planning, and long-term care planning, and estate planning, and all that. That's what we do. I love to do that kind of work. Yeah. It feeds my brain. The people coming in the office don't have to do that. We do that for them. Sure. So they get the fun part of just sitting back, having some coffee, and answering some cool questions. And we've talked about this in the past. You love things that are complicated. You love figuring things out. And I think that's amazing, because it all ties in with the fact that you sit one-on-one with your clients, you're getting to know them, and then you're constructing a plan that's going to be beneficial for them for all the things that they want to do in their life. Because we've talked about this as well, Simon. So often people approach retirement and they don't want to just get by, They want to enjoy. And they should enjoy, because they've worked their whole lives to get to that point. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's the beginning of a relationship that's a long-standing relationship. Yeah. So, we put a plan together for you, and let's say you become a client. That's just the start. Sure. Because every year we get together, and part of it, I'll be honest, I want to know what you're doing. Yeah, it's fun. What have you been up to? Yeah. Yeah. How was that trip? Did you go hiking? Did you do this? Did you go skydiving or whatever it is? And that's fun for me, but also, we talked about in one of the last shows, the CARES Act, and how some sweeping tax changes took place. Well, you know what? If I or you put your own plan together, or I just left you after that plan, tax laws have changed. How does that affect your plan? Exactly. You're going to get different returns on your investments. We're going to project them, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen. You need to fine-tune that. It's kind of, I've said this before, like you're going to drive, you start in Pennsylvania, you're going to drive to California. If you make a minor change, miss one fork in the road early on, and you don't catch it, you don't keep looking at the map and making sure you're in heading on the same path. That's the annual reviews for our clients, to tweak things so that we don't, that you can get back on. You check your map every half hour and you go, oh man, I missed the turn.
Yeah.
But if you never do that, if you never go for annual reviews, if you don't have that long-standing relationship with your advisor and you're meeting with them every year and seeing that first plan we put together, tweaking it, hey, the tax code changed, hey, this happened in my life, hey, this, hey, that. How does it affect my plan? How do we adjust the plan? You may look up thinking you're going to see Los Angeles and it says Seattle.
Yeah.
Because one little degree
Can
way
change.
back in Ohio took you to the wrong place. It wasn't corrected. So it's a beginning of a long-term relationship that we meet every year. And more often, if the client wants it or it's warranted, something happens, we need to, we will meet more than that. But it's just the beginning of the journey.
Absolutely. Well, Simon, this is the perfect time for us to reopen the phone lines. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the viewers at home, the phone number to call is on your screen. That number is 877-441-4901. What Simon is offering you today is a complimentary consultation. Let him get to know you and vice versa. Do you have a plan in place for retirement? You probably need to have one designed for you, and Simon is giving you that opportunity today. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 877-441-4901. We have to take a very short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to have so much more. Please stay tuned.
How do I handle my taxes? How do I do my estate planning? I mean, it's just a myriad of questions and issues that they have that they just have never done before. It's not always what we don't know, but it's what we don't know that we don't know.
I think that there's a lot of unknown out there. There's a lot of misinformation, and I've seen the effects that that's had.
A lot of our clients, our niche is helping people transition into retirement. They're retiring and they have a nest egg that they've been saving. They want to have somebody who knows the answers to the questions they have and help them through the decision-making process.
I believe that having all of the information in front of you in a way that you understand best is the best way that somebody is able to make a decision appropriate for what they need.
And no two plans are the same because no two clients are the same. My goal is they can kind of get up every day and year after year and see that the plan is working and that they don't have anything to worry about so that they can put their focus on what's really important. Money's great, and we all need it to pay our bills, but to me, it's what the money's going to do for you. You're going to remember your trips. You're going to remember your great experiences with your loved ones. I mean, it's just waking up every day and it's Saturday morning. They work so hard for so long to retire. You earn everything. That makes it all worthwhile.
Welcome back to Basildon's Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers. And Simon is president of Basildon Financial, LLC. Yeah. Simon, a great show that we're having today, again, talking about the importance of planning for retirement and what it feels like when someone comes into the office. So I have to ask you a question. If someone is in the viewing audience today, and let's say they're about 5 years away from retirement, what should they be thinking about today?
Wow, great question. Certainly, I think making sure that their risk tolerance is appropriate for that stage, because I like to give the analogy that if you, let's say, and I'm not a football guy, I'm into tennis, but a lot of people are into football, and it makes sense. I can't do this with a tennis analogy, but if you capture like the kickoff in the end zone, right?
Okay.
And you run it all the way down the field and you're at the 5-yard line about to score, that's like within 5 years of retirement. You don't want to get fancy. Like, it's not about hitting home runs. I ask clients questions all the time. Like, so the risk tolerance, we've kept it high. We've taken higher risk, and we maybe not have reevaluated that. But what you don't want to do is fumble that football on the 5-yard line. You've already gone 95 yards down the field. So you've already built up your nest egg pretty substantially. You don't want to have it at too much risk that close to retirement, because that's kind of like getting some fancy play to get it over the end zone. Really, just grab the ball and just drive it. Get it across. Get the points on the board. Retire. If you think about it, like what would be the purpose of taking high risk those last 5 years? Now, granted, every person is unique, and every plan we do for every person is unique. So, you know, on these shows, I'm talking general terms.
Okay.
In general terms, a lot of people don't have such substantial nest egg that they can take a 30% hit and still be okay. You know?
Yeah.
So if that's you, and that's most of the listening audience, you want to scale back or look at scaling back your risk, because there's a couple of good questions to ask. If you're taking high risk and you're going to do that right up to the day of your retirement, what are you getting out of that risk? You know, if you double your money in the last 5 years, will it change your lifestyle? Usually people are like, nah, you know, I'm kind of set in my ways now. I'm like 60, whatever. I doubt I'm going to change my spending habits after all these decades.
Yeah.
Okay, now the second question is, if you lost half your money, what is that going to change your lifestyle? And it's like, oh my God, yeah. So then it's like, well, then why are you putting your money at risk those last few years?
Makes
I'm not
sense.
saying take zero risk,
Yeah.
but don't go like full bore right into the day you retire. You got to kind of try to scale it down. For most people, again,
Sure.
most people, that's what is most appropriate.
Okay. Your advice on paying down debt before retirement, how important is that, Simon? We have about a minute and a half left of the show.
Yeah, good question. It depends on the type of debt. I mean, if there's an asset behind it, like a house, and the interest rates on houses so low these days, that is not so bad. I understand psychologically people want to just walk into retirement with no debt, and I get that. But mathematically, it's maybe not. Maybe paying off the house, taking $100,000 out of the retirement account, paying off the house, maybe not the wisest choice because of the taxes involved, and then that's a dead asset. It's not producing for you. Or if it's credit card debt at 18%, that's a different answer. You know,
Sure.
maybe that is a wise thing because you're not getting 18% on your investments. So get rid of that debt. But it's like everything, every question, I can give you general answers, but the real detailed answers that are appropriate for that particular client, you know, we need to look into the details.
So again, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation, nor is it a set-and-forget-it plan that you put in place. It's
Correct.
something that's adjustable, and it's very personalized.
Yep, exactly.
Well, Simon, thank you for another amazing show this week. To the viewers at home, the phone number to call is on your screen. That number is 877-441-4901. If you have questions about how to retire comfortably or with confidence, Simon is offering you a complimentary consultation. All you have to do today is pick up the phone and call 877-441-4901. Thank you for spending time with us again this week. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we'll see you back again very soon.